it is looking at what other methods could have been used, which other variables could have been used. We haven't really looked at that as yet. So the ones that you will care about just now is that minimum number, observations required for a split search, maximum number of branches from a node, and maximum depth of a tree, which you won't change, but you understand what it is about. And won't this control the way your tree grows? Yeah? This is controlling the whole growth mechanism, isn't it? The pre-pruning that we speak about, it is controlling that. It is controlling the size of your tree. Now here, in the table, I have given you options. First I'm saying, you must use these three options, entropy, chi, Gini. If, let's say the first time I've chosen entropy, then I should use two options for minimum number of observations. 1% of examples in training set. I don't know if you remember, how many rows of data we had? 1,000. Of the 1,000, it said 50% go in training. That means how many records are there in training? 500. Then how much is 1% of 500?
Or is it 50? Oh.
Yeah, 50% was training. So 5 records. So just now I'm saying create one tree with this being 5 and then maximum number of branches from a node 2. So this one nothing will change. Okay, this scenario. Now remember we have to draw lots of trees. I left my markers in my room. Does anyone have a marker here? You have? Ah, she always has. Now let me tell you the number of trees you will have to make. That's why I said in class that after I show you one, you'll be able to, the practice that you'll be getting will be so much that you won't ever forget how to do this. So let's say this is my tree node. Which one is this example? This example is saying entropy. Then 1%. And 2. I'm giving this the name of the tree. What does this name mean? The splitting criteria is entropy, 1% of training records, and 2 is the number of branches. You know how many trees of entropy I have to do?
Yes.
I will do one more. With entropy, 1% for entropy, 5%, 2, entropy,
Yeah, it's 2 for each.
5%, and 4.
And 4 times each.
You get the combination you have to do? Look at the table. That's just for entropy. You have to do the same thing for chi. You have to do the same thing for Gini. Why am I making you do? Maybe there's no difference in the results. But at least, if you do so many, you will not forget the thing. It's practice, right? It's a practice.
Yep.
So you have to do the combinations, and then in the end, how many models will you have? 12. You'll have 12 models, won't you? And remember, I would always show you that I had so many models and then I was comparing them. Right? So then you will have to compare your models. And how do you compare your models? Remember the performance measures? What were the performance measures? Accuracy.
Stability and the other one.
Then simplicity.
Serious?
And
Stability.
stability. Each of these, you know what they do. You have a value function which you can use for all of these, right? And then in the end you get a weight. You say, okay, accuracy is more important than this, and then you combine it all in one table. All that won't happen here. What will happen here, you'll just get the values here. So let me show you how we get first. Let's generate the tree and then let me show you how you get these values. But you do understand that how many trees you will have. You will basically end up having 12 trees. And you can see how from the table which is given here. Now, what else do we have to go and set? If you look at the table I've given you, I say, okay, in basic tab, this is all you go and change, and you see what is given to you. And in the advanced tab, which is right up here, what do you go and change?
Proportion of the
Model
correct.
assessment measure. If I click on that arrow, I make it proportion misclassified. I go, if you look at the table that you have, if you look at the table, it tells you which tab you have to go and do what in, right? So the sheet I've given you is actually useful. Now remember I told you, what did I tell you in class? If you ever ask me that question,
What?
you thought it through. Right? So you misclassify the same as classified. So let's just save this. Let's give it a name. What do you want to call it? Let me just give it the same name. Int. Sure. Int 1%. 2. Okay, let me go back to the tree. Let me just change the name here. That name I gave is the internal name. I can even change the visual name there. Okay? There's no harm. I just come and click here and start typing up. It will be fine. I'll give it the same name here. Int 1% and 2. I do a right click, open. There are 2 tabs I need to visit. Which are the 2 tabs?
Basic.
Basic tab, which is fine. I didn't change anything here except entropy. And the advanced tab, where I went and made this one, proportion misclassified. How do you know you have to go to these 2 tabs? You even have this sheet of paper which shows you which tabs to go to. Yeah, that's why this exercise I gave you will be useful. And that's all you care about just now. And we just close this. On the sheet you have. Yeah. Yeah. And you remember what we discussed in class? It will report you misclassified, but that is the 100 minus that or 1 minus that will give you the proportion correctly classified. Now once I've set up everything, this is the node I need to run. If I say run, it will run the tree. Okay, so it shows me some information here. Remember, it keeps, there's one for training and one for validation. This must be the stable one is for training, this must be for the validation. And it shows a tree with, I don't know how many leaves, with 8 leaves. Yeah, forget this diagram. And it's also showing you some things here, but what we need to get here is go into the view and look at the tree. Let's go look at the tree. And this is the tree that we would get. Now if we look at the tree, we have 2 columns here, don't we? This says that, this is, what is it reporting? This is your column for training and this is your column for validation. How do I know that? It has total 500 records here and 299 records there. Right? Didn't we choose 50, 30, 20? Yeah? So 500 are training and this is your training column, validation column. Initially when you started, your good and bad went ratio 70 to 30. Yeah? Look at the good and bad split here. Isn't it very similar? And this is giving me percentages and this is giving me actual numbers. Okay? So if you wanted the actual numbers versus percentages, the top numbers are giving me percentage, and the same good bad next row is giving, you can see it here. Like, good, how many goods are in this node? 35%. How many bads are here? 64.2%. How many actual goods? Number. See the number here? And so on. Now, sometimes the whole tree is not visible. So, I think I go into tree option.
So where did those labels come from?
One sec. Let me just tree depth. Let's make it 6 because one sec. Tree depth.
You go down.
Oh, it's there. Yeah, this is the entire tree. Sometimes it doesn't, all the trees are not visible. Now remember how many leaves are supposed to be there? 1, 2, this is a leaf, right? Is this a leaf? This is not a leaf, this is a leaf. So all these last nodes are your leaves. So this is 4 here, 5, 6, 7, and is there one on top? Yes, 8. Yeah? You see that there are 8 leaves? Sometimes all the trees not visible, so you go into view, go into tree options and set your tree depth to 6. I'll be there on Tuesday in the lab, so you're not left on your own. You're not left on your own, so don't ever think you're going to be, first time I'm going to leave you. But you understand how this tree will be interpreted. This is a variable, so it's basically saying if checking is 2 and if duration is less than this value and purpose is 3, then look at this.
How did it link back to the check-in and the duration and so forth?
How did I, sorry?
Where did it link back to like the check-in and the duration?
Those are the variable names.
Oh, those are the names of them. Oh.
Variable names, the input variables. Now if you look here, there are some variables, some nodes will be a good node and some won't really be a good node. For example here, 70%, or should I be looking at training or should I be looking at validation? Validation. Look at this now. 70% of the records were good and 30% are bad. Can I say that if this and this and this and this, then likely to be bad? Sorry, likely to be good?
Yes.
I can, right?
Yes.
With 70% posterior
Surety.
probability, I'm saying that. And if you also see how many records are being classified by this rule, total 58, that's the end, of which of 58, 40 are being classified correctly and 18 are not being classified correctly. Let me see, do I have anything for bad?
Yeah, there wasn't.
But this is 50%, right?
that's a
50%
big
is like a
difference.
random guess. So I would not ever use that rule as such. Right here. Right here. Or look even here.
Yeah.
This is not, let's see. But if you notice here, look how many, all 5 were bad and there were only 5 records. Now you'll have to see, is 5 really
Sufficient.
the number that I want to drill down to? You understand that?
Yeah.
You understand the growth of the tree? Should I be really going to 5 records? Or should I be, just making it a little more? There were only 5 records there which were classified as, so that will not try and split further. Did that try and split further? Huh?
No.
This node, it didn't try and split further because all these belong to, first of all, they belong to one class and they were also 5. If they were less than 5, then it won't be splitting any further anyway, because you need minimum number of records required at a node should be 5. And it's all for the training, those settings that you're doing. So you understand how to read a tree, and we like the English rules, so we can go back and see the English rules. Let's save it. Now let's try and see what we need to do to look at some other graphs which we had drawn. Remember the graphs which we had drawn? Lift. You can't, so I'm just showing you that you can actually modify that, right? So next time I'm giving you 5% of training. So you're experimenting with it to see that is it really making sense drilling down to 5 records.
Okay.
But there are some domains where you may be interested in those 5 people. Because it's a small subset in your group, but you're identifying that as with high accuracy. So if they satisfy those criteria, then you know that they are good or bad.
Could be high network people or something.
Okay, now we need to, remember we had done lots of diagrams, lift chart and for stability, various charts that we were looking at. Now which node is it? You see this one little node here, which is called assessment. Remember this node here?
Yeah.
So let's pull this down. Let me just connect it here. I'll also connect the reporter node. This is the reporter node. I connect this guy here. I'm just connecting them up here. I'll just go to the last one and I press run. I'll come back to this later. Okay, it's created. Fine. Let's go to model assessment. Let's open this. We only have one model just now. And that's the model there. End 1% 2. It's a tree. If it was a regression, it will show you its regression. This is a target variable. And if I scroll here, look what it gives me here. Misclassification rate. So which misclassification rate should we look at? The one which says nothing here is for the training. This is for the validation data set, and this is like a further validation we are doing. We are calling it test. SAS allows you 2 levels. But sometimes software will just show you 2, training and validation. So which one should we look at? We can look at validation or test. I prefer looking at this validation. Because sometimes I don't even break it down into 3 sets. I don't have that much data, so I just make 2 sets, training and validation. Test is not mandatory to use. So I use validation. If you notice that this is the, which performance parameter is this now? This is the accuracy. Right there. Right? Mm-hmm. So we have an accuracy value for our table now. For which model? Entropy. Now let's 1% 2. Let's go, and if you look at a graph. Now I just click on this graph here, draw lift chart, and it shows me, showing me something, but let's fix it. Let's go into format and say show me the exact. Okay, there is a baseline and there is an exact model. Baseline shows that if we were just making a random guess on my data, right? What is the initial distribution of good and bad? 7 and 3, right? So if I randomly picked up, it will be the same, 70% will be good or 30% will be bad. So this is a baseline without any model. This yellow tells me that if I had the best model, if every record was correctly classified, this is what the model would look like, the yellow. That's the best, perfect model. Of course, you can never actually have a set of rules which will be like the best, right? You are always looking for a model which is somewhere between the exact and the baseline. this is my model here. So I can just go into format, and I first, when I'm saying show my exact, show my baseline, and okay, also show me these models by the names I've given them. So it actually now changes this red one to be calling it entropy 1% 2, right? And I can do various charts. I can get them in a non-cumulative fashion. And if I get it in this one, I can get, they are all showing the same things. But if you notice now, this is the same lift chart, you're showing it, you're seeing different views of the data. And I tell you which one you should look at, right? Now here, is this red model, stable model? Remember, these are the records you expect to be performing properly, right? Then these are like yes, and then further down it will become no's. If I sorted the probabilities, how will the probability of something being good look like? First they will be high and then they will be low. Yeah? So isn't this like, you know, this is, remember, all of them are in their sorted probabilities. Those are the higher up. The first percentile will have those which are higher probabilities, were classified as yes. Now, in the beginning, this looks good, right? If we had like an edge going like this, even that would have been bad. But if we had it just going slowly like this, that would have been good. You just can't go like, you can't rise to the mountain. Huh? You can't walk up to the mountain, but you can climb down from the mountain, or you can stay on the plateau. You understand when I said this sentence, the analogy which I'm giving here. If you are climbing towards a mountain, then it is a unstable model. That means that those records which should be in the first few percentile, should have had a higher posterior probability, but the actual values were bad, right? That's what is happening here. So you can get the stability from these graphs here. There was some lift value calculation which you had to do, and you could have done this from these graphs here. I think it's which one? You can do it from this graph. I think I asked you to do the baseline and then the exact and do this calculation. And you understand that you have to do it at 1 percentile. Huh? You can't compare this one, or right now I have only one model. I'll come back to the multiple models again. Let me just tell you something here. Now here, if I have like 10 models, it becomes hard to see them. So I can even go into here and say, view lift data. And when you get it on your screens, you will see that this is my tree which I just drew, right? This is the baseline, this is the exact model. And what do I have here? I have like several values here. What are the several values? It starts for the percentiles. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. You understand the word percentiles? All the records you have, that's 100 percentiles, right? 10% of that will be, it will be 1 percentile. So if you have the top 10 will be in your, the top, if you have students, like, you know, when they're grading you, they're not saying that you got 100% or 99%. When they're doing percentile, they're comparing each one of you. So if you're in the top 10 percentile, means that you are in the top 10% of the class. And if it's a top 20 percentile, that means you're in the top 20%. So all the records are sorted based on their grades then, and then the top 10 are taken from that. Fine, if there are 100 records, top 10 are taken and put in this top percentile. So this is the percentile value, so there will be 100 percentile, which means 100%. And so if you are in the 10 percentile, means it's the 10% of the top performing people there. This is like all of them. 70 will be the top 70% of them, right? And so in the percentile, you can get various values. I can even get the lift value from here. You see the lift value there? Yeah? If you go, remember the nodes? In the notes, I had told you, you can get these values from the table or you can get them from the graph. So you can see how you can get them from the table. It's easier to see it here. If I say, okay, I'm looking at 30 percentile, then which is the value I need? I need 1.232. If I need for the baseline, 30%, what is the value? 1. If I need for exact, what is the value? 1.424. Right? So you can get them there, and it just, you click here and it shows you, not even click, if you just take your mouse over there to show you view lift data. If you go into format, you do show exact, and you also click on model name so you can see them properly. And if I close this, let me come back to reporter, and I open my report. I created it already last time.
Seriously? Little better. Sunshine will leave me out. Sunshine.
This is like, it just puts everything in here. It tells you all the variables if you want to look at them, all variables, interval variables. Shows you the graph here. Number of leaves, if you notice here, is 8. Yes, at this point. It's like you could choose to then say, okay, maybe I want 7, then what will I get if I get 7? It's reporting a lot of things, and what I care about is, I can even see the confusion matrix here.
Confusion is real.
Let me not go there first.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's further down also, it shows me confusion matrix, yeah. Remember the bad, this is the target value, this is the actual output value. So those that were good, bad, how many of those were classified as bad? Those that were bad, how many of them were classified as good, right? Those that were good, how many were classified as bad? And those that were good, how many were classified good? And this is done on which data set?
But
The validation
validation.
data set, right? That's the one we are comparing,
Yes.
right? That's the one we are checking the accuracy of the model on. And you can actually get the accuracy of the model even from here. 43 bads were classified as bads, 179 goods were classified as being as goods. So if you notice, how many were misclassified? 46 plus 31 were misclassified, weren't they?
So this part relates to B then.
Right, it's the same thing. You can, yeah, that we can do that later too. We can, but you understand that even this will give you even the confusion matrix. So you have various things in here, and I'm just showing you the things that whatever you would need are, for example, confusion matrix out here, and English rules. Let's take a look at English rules. Look at this English rule. What is this rule telling me? The word node and the number there is just some numbering it has given your nodes. What is that number next to n? Number of records that were classified by this rule. Isn't that a very good rule? Yeah, isn't that a good rule? That there's a large chunk of people who are being classified by this rule, and it has a high posterior probability of classifying somebody as being as good. Yeah? So if checking is 3 and 4, I don't know what checking is, but suppose if we know our data, checking is a variable with values 3 and 4, then you're likely to be good with how much probability? 87%. And if you notice that the number of records which are being classified by this is also quite large, so it's a good rule. Look at this one now. This is also a fairly good rule, which says if the purpose, now what is purpose duration checking? What are these? The variables from a data set, right? So these are all variables. Right now we don't know this data that well, but you can go back and look at what these variables mean. So if this is saying if purpose is one of these and duration is less than this and checking is either 1 or 2, then it's 78.7% you're likely to be classified as a good. And how many records were used to classify this? 75. This is not a very good posterior probability for bad, but hey, the number of records which are being used here again is that quite
It's a
high.
good rule.
If I don't have anything for bad, like this one, it's just 9 records here. Nine records here. Remember, there were only 30% were. Maybe this one's good for bad. Sorry, this is again for good. For bad, we'll have to see how many records we total had and how many percentage. But the one with 5 will probably not be useful. So you have these rules and then you have to determine which ones are good rules, which ones you can use for decision making. Won't these rules become decision making then? They can be, you can either act on them or you can build them into a little decision support system, and given some data, you have these rules working in the background which makes the decisions and gives you the output. Let me show you one more record, one more run. Excuse me.
Genie.
How much is 5% of 500?
25. You can use 4 as a maximum. Yeah. And proportional classified. Backspace first. Genie 5-4.
I just created another model. What was this model?
Genie 5-4. It's 5%. Oh,
What is that? Oh, nothing. That's just a visual name, so an ampersand would have been fine. Run. No, I'm not opening it just now. You can go look at the tree that is generated here. No, not open. Look at the
View.
results. Where am I going? Oh God. Am I, closed everything?
yep.
Okay, good thing is that nothing ever closes to I closed mine up.
Oh.
I wasn't careful and I closed mine up. Results. How many leaves am I getting here? 6 leaves. I go look at the tree, view tree. And if you notice, it's giving me similar-ish, so I won't really bother to look here. Okay, you saw the number of leaves that I had in entropy and in Gini? Remember the value functions I had for simplicity? What was the input into simplicity value function? Number of leaves, right? The number of leaves would determine what the value for that performance measure was. So that is what you will use that value function and determine simplicity by looking at the number of leaves. Let's look at the results here. You see now we have 2 models. You can look at the accuracy of the model here. And if I highlight both of them here and I look at the lift chart, first let me format it, show exact, to show it by model name. And you notice what is happening here. These two made very similar models. It's nearly very, very similar. If you looked at the rules, weren't they very similar? They were very, very similar rules. So you will have to see, that's why you're only seeing one out here. So, but you notice that here you are seeing both the names coming up, but they're actually only seeing one line because this is just overlapping this one completely here. But you notice that you can see them both there. Oh no, I want to show you. Yeah. But when there are many trees, rather than looking on the graph, look here. I can see, oh, this is entropy, this is Gini. I am comparing them both at 30 percentile. So let me go look at their value right here. Or if I'm comparing them at 70 percentile, I will go look at this value, and for this one, I will go look at this same value. Right? I won't look at one at 70 and one at 40. Can I compare them at different levels? If I'm comparing 2 models, I should be comparing them at the same level. So if whichever percentile I'm using, and generally the ground rule is that you look at the ratio. If it was 70-30, then you would be taking that same percentile here. So at the 70 percentile, I will compare this model, entropy 1% 2 and Gini 5% 4. So if I'm saying at 70%, I'm looking at the value of both at 70%. So can I get accuracy? Can I get simplicity? Can I get lift? And can I get stability? Can we? So you will, before coming on Tuesday, you will go and see how these are calculated. You can see that there are some numbers you can get for the lift here. There are value functions which you have in your notes. You calculate the value for lift. How many leaves in each of these models? One had 8, one had 6, right? You will see what is the number for simplicity. Are they both stable? So both are 1. So those 4 performance measures I have written on the right hand side, can't we get numbers for them? We can get numbers for them. And we basically are now filling out a table. Now that table is not being filled here. You have to create that table and fill it. Go back to the notes. You have to read the notes before you come on Tuesday now. To see that how are you doing those calculations. And once those calculations are done, like I tell you, this part is actually the easier part. It improves the understanding, but it is the easier part. In the end, you are the decision maker who is coming up with these value functions. The quality of the value functions will determine the quality of your decision making capability also. Because you can have models which are comparable. And if models are comparable, then which model do you pick over the one over the other? Remember I told you in the example I did for quality of life, I built 45 models. Of the 45 models, somebody could have just done one and picked up any one. Because it would be minimum requirements, they all satisfy. That's why they're included. But of the 45, if you were to look at the English rules, they would be slightly different. So which one do you really take? So if you want to ensure you're getting the best one, you have to do that comparison. That's why the adequate experimentation comes in. That's why the CRISP-DM methodology comes in. That you are following a process. The process that you have set from before. No one should be able to tell you this was just, you cooked it up. Because the key is, moment there is data, there will be models which are generated. How do you show those models are good models? So what we did just now, and unfortunately you could not do it, is really, how many models did I make here?
Those.
2. And you will need to make how many?
12.
12. So you make 12 and you are basically just connecting them like this. If you think it gets unruly, you can use this node. There is a node, control point. Oh, where did it go now? Control point. This is just to make things look pretty. So I can easily make it come here. And I say, okay, let me copy this one.